Respecting your self-worth is one of the most transformative realizations you can embrace. It is the cornerstone of how you allow others to treat you and how you navigate your relationships, both romantic and platonic. When you beg for someone's attention, chase after their affection, or constantly seek their approval, you unknowingly place your worth in their hands, giving them the power to determine how you feel about yourself. This isn't just damaging. It's a pattern that erodes your confidence and leaves you vulnerable to emotional manipulation. The truth is, the moment you start respecting your self-worth, the dynamics of your relationships change entirely. When you beg, it sends a message not just to the other person, but to yourself that you don't believe you are enough. As you are begging implies desperation, and desperation is born out of fear. Fear of losing someone, fear of being alone, fear of not being loved. But here's the thing, true love, real connection and mutual respect are never built on fear. They are built on mutual admiration, shared values and equality. The moment you have to beg, balance shifts in the foundation of the relationship, weakens. Chasing someone, whether through actions or relentless communication, reinforces this imbalance. It creates a dynamic where you are the pursuer and they become the prize in reality. No one should ever be a prize to chase. Healthy relationships involve two people willingly coming together, not one person chasing while the other decides whether to slow down or continue running by chasing. You inadvertently place the other person on a pedestal, making them seem more important or valuable than you are. But the truth is, no one is above you, and no one is below you. You are equals, and if someone doesn't recognize that they don't deserve a place in your life, writing and calling excessively to seek attention or validation might seem like a way to bridge the distance, but in reality it often pushes people further away. Relationships thrive on balance and mutual effort. When one person does all the initiating, it creates a lopsided dynamic that can breed resentment or complacency in the other person. If someone values you, they will reach out on their own. Your time, your attention, and your energy are precious. If they are not reciprocated, it's a sign that you are investing in someone who isn't willing to match your efforts. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their priorities. Why chasing creates imbalance in your self-worth also means understanding that you are complete as you are. You don't need someone else to validate your existence or define your value. When you chase after someone's approval, you're telling yourself, I am not enough until they say I am. But you are already enough, more than enough. The people who truly belong in your life will see that without you having to prove it or fight for it, they will appreciate your presence, reciprocate your energy, and value your boundaries. When you stop begging, chasing, writing, or calling unnecessarily, you create space for the right things to come to you. Instead of running after someone who doesn't see your value, you allow yourself to focus on the people and opportunities that do. You also give yourself the chance to grow, to rediscover what makes you unique and amazing, and to attract people who are drawn to your authenticity and confidence. When you respect yourself, you set a standard for how others should treat you, and you naturally filter out those who cannot or will not meet that standard. The first step in respecting your self-worth is recognizing it. Look at everything you bring to the table: your kindness, your talents, your resilience, your love, and understand that these are gifts, not bargaining chips. You don't need to convince anyone to accept them. If they can't see their value, that's their loss, not yours. Your worth is not up for negotiation, and it certainly isn't tied to someone else's validation. Respecting your self-worth means letting go of behaviors that diminish it. It means standing firm in the belief that you deserve love, respect, and kindness without having to beg, chase, or prove yourself. It's not easy to unlearn the patterns of seeking external validation, but once you do, you'll find a freedom and empowerment that no one can take away from you. Letting actions speak louder than words is not just a principle for relationships, but a foundation for self-respect and emotional balance. Often in moments of insecurity or fear of losing someone, we find ourselves overcompensating with words, please declarations, reassurances, or repetitive attempts to explain our value or emotions. While communication is vital in any relationship, there's a fine line between healthy expression and over-communication that stems from desperation. When you allow your actions to take center stage, instead of filling the silence with unnecessary words, you shift the focus to what truly matters. Mutual effort, respect, and authenticity. When someone values you, they don't need endless reminders of your worth through calls, texts, or emotional outpourings. Their actions will reflect their appreciation for you, just as your actions should reflect your self-respect. Love, care, and connection are never one-sided, and they're certainly not earned by overwhelming the other person with your presence or your words. In fact, excessive communication can often feel suffocating to the recipient and diminish the natural rhythm of the relationship. It leaves no room for curiosity, no space for them to miss you, and no opportunity for them to show their effort. Think about the power of silence in space. When you step back and allow the relationship to breathe, you give the other person a chance to decide if they value what they have with you enough to step forward. If they don't, their inaction speaks volumes. It may not be the answer you want, but it's the truth. You need to move forward with clarity. If someone is unwilling to meet you halfway, no amount of calling, texting, or chasing will change their mind. It will only push them further away, reinforcing the imbalance in the relationship. There's a certain dignity in holding back and letting your actions do the talking. For instance, if you've expressed your feelings clearly and sincerely, there's no need to repeat yourself in an attempt to gain the value of silence and no contact response. Your words are not a magic formula that will unlock someone's heart or suddenly change their perspective. Instead, focus on how you care yourself. Do you maintain your composure, even when emotions run high? Do you set healthy boundaries? When someone's behavior doesn't align with your values, these actions communicate more about your character and self-worth than any speech or message ever could. It's also important to recognize when someone's actions aren't aligning with their words. Promises, apologies, and declarations of affection mean little if they aren't backed up by consistent, meaningful actions. Instead of getting caught up in what someone says, pay attention to how they behave. Are they making an effort to spend time with you? Are they showing respect for your feelings and boundaries? Are they investing in the relationship as much as you are? These are the questions that truly matter, because actions reveal intentions far more honestly than words. As allowing actions to take precedence doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or avoid communication altogether. It means you find a balance where your words complement your actions rather than replacing them. It's about being intentional with your communication, speaking when it adds value to you, not out of anxiety or fear of silence. It also means holding others accountable for their actions, without letting their words cloud your judgment. When you prioritize actions, you foster an environment of mutual respect and clarity. You demonstrate that you're not someone who will tolerate empty promises or one-sided effort. You show that you value yourself enough to step back when someone's actions don't align with your needs, and most importantly, you create the space for authentic relationship, ones built on mutual appreciation and effort, rather than on one person constantly trying to prove their worth. In the end, actions form the foundation of trust, respect, and love. When you let them take the lead, you not only empower yourself, but also give others the opportunity to meet you at the level of effort and sincerity you deserve. Silence is a powerful response, and it often communicates more than words ever could when emotions are high. and the temptation to call text or explain yourself feels overwhelming. Stepping back and embracing silence can be the strongest move you make. It's not about playing games or engaging in manipulation. It's about preserving your dignity, respecting your boundaries, and allowing the situation to unfold naturally. Silence gives both you and the other person the space to reflect, process emotions, and reveal the true nature of your connection. When someone pulls away or stops reciprocating your energy, the instinct to chase them can feel irresistible. You might feel that if you just say the right thing, apologize again, or clarify your intentions, everything will fall back into place. But more often than not, this approach backfires. The more you try to close the gap with words and actions, the more you highlight the imbalance and effort, and the more distant the other person becomes. Silence, on the other hand, shifts the dynamic. It communicates confidence, restraint, and self-respect, qualities that draw people. And rather than pushing them away in relationships, silence can serve as a mirror. It reflects back to the other person their own feelings and behavior. When you stop initiating communication, they are left with their thoughts, and it forces them to confront their true intentions. Do they miss you? Are they willing to put in the effort to repair what's broken, or do they remain indifferent? Silence gives you the answers that words cannot, because it removes the distractions and lets speak louder than anything else. It's important, building confidence through self-focus, to understand that silence is not about avoidance or running away from the situation. It's about choosing not to engage in behaviors that undermine your self-worth. When you resist the urge to beg, chase, or explain, you're not ignoring the problem. You're choosing to protect your peace and prioritize your emotional well-being. Silence is a form of self-care, a way to honor your boundaries and remind yourself that you don't have to overextend to be worthy of someone's attention or respect. Silence also gives you clarity. When you step back and stop pouring energy into trying to fix or maintain the connection, you gain the mental and emotional space to evaluate the situation. Objectively, are you holding on to someone who doesn't valuing you? Are you fighting for a relationship that isn't mutually fulfilling? Are you compromising your needs for someone who isn't meeting you halfway? These are hard questions, but silence creates the space for you to answer them. Honestly, there's a misconception that silence equals weakness or a lack of care, but the opposite is true. Silence takes strength. It takes restraint to resist the urge to reach out, especially when your heart is involved. It takes courage to let go of the illusion of control and trust that whatever is meant for you will come to you without force or desperation. And it takes faith in yourself to believe that you are enough, even when someone else's actions or inactions make you question your worth. Silence is also a way of setting boundaries. It tells the other person, I respect myself enough not to chase after you or beg for your attention. It shifts the focus from what you're giving to what they're willing to give in return. If they care, they will reach out. If they don't, their silence becomes your answer. And as painful as that might be, it's a truth you deserve to know. By choosing silence, you empower yourself. You regain control over your emotions and actions instead of being controlled by them. You allow the relationship to unfold naturally, free from the pressure of constant communication or over-explaining. And most importantly, you remind yourself that your worth is not tied to anyone else's response or validation. In the end, silence is not about giving up. It's about letting go. It's about trusting that the right people will recognize your value and meet you with the effort and respect you deserve. Investing in yourself instead of seeking validation from others is one of the most empowering choices you can make. Too often, we direct our energy outward, chasing relationships, approval, or acknowledgement, believing that our worth is tied to how others perceive us. This mindset is not only exhausting, but also unsustainable, as it places your happiness and self-esteem in someone else's hands. By choosing to focus on yourself, you reclaim that power and transform your life from within. When you invest in yourself, you begin to recognize that your value isn't determined by how much someone likes, needs, or notices you. It's defined by the way you nurture your talents, prioritize your well-being, and honor your dreams. Instead of pouring all your time and energy into chasing people or proving your worth to them, you redirect it toward personal growth and fulfillment. This shift doesn't just enhance your confidence, it makes you magnetic when you genuinely value and respect yourself. Others are drawn to that energy without you needing to beg for their attention. Attention focusing on yourself doesn't mean you ignore relationships or cut people out of your life. It means creating a balance where you prioritize your needs without compromising them for someone who isn't meeting you halfway. It's about recognizing that while connections with others can enrich your life, they shouldn't define it. True self-investment comes from understanding that you are whole on your own, and any relationship or external validation is simply a bonus, not a necessity. Start by asking yourself, what are the areas of my life that need attention? Is it your career, your health, your emotional well-being, or perhaps your hobbies and passions? These are the aspects of your life that will continue to grow and bring fulfillment. Regardless of who is in or out of your life, when you dedicate time to improving yourself. Whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a goal, or practicing self-care, you create a sense of purpose and accomplishment that no external approval can replace. In yourself also means setting boundaries. When you stop chasing others and start focusing inward, you naturally create space for people who align with your values and respect your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, they're guidelines that teach others the power of emotional detachment, how to treat you by maintaining them. You show that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and those who truly care about you will honor that. One of the most transformative aspects of self-investment is the confidence it builds when you know your worth and actively cultivate your potential. You begin to view relationships and interactions differently as you no longer feel the need to chase someone's attention because you're confident in what you bring to the table. You understand that the right people will recognize and appreciate your value without you having to convince them. As in those who don't, they're not your responsibility to fix, convince, or keep. Another critical aspect of focusing on yourself is the ability to heal and grow from past experiences. Often the urge to chase or seek validation stems from unresolved wounds or insecurities. By taking the time to understand and address these issues, you break free from patterns of seeking external approval and begin to find that validation within. Therapy, journaling, meditation, or simply spending time alone can help you connect with yourself on a deeper level, allowing you to heal and grow stronger. When you invest in yourself, you set the tone for how others should treat you. You show that you're not willing to settle for less than you deserve, and that you value your happiness and growth above superficial validation. This doesn't just change the way you see yourself, it changes the way others see you. People respect confidence, independence, and self-assurance. And when you embody these qualities, you naturally attract relationships that are healthier, more balanced, and more fulfilling. Ultimately, the most rewarding relationship you'll ever have is the one you build with yourself. By focusing on your growth, passions, and well-being, you create a life that feels whole and meaningful, and in doing so, you remind yourself that your worth has never been dependent on anyone else, that's always been within you. Recognizing when to let go is one of the most challenging yet liberating decisions you can make. It requires a profound understanding of your worth and the courage to release anything or anyone that no longer aligns with your values. needs or growth holding on to relationships, situations or people that no longer serve. You can feel like a form of loyalty, but in reality it often becomes a source of unnecessary pain and stagnation. Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're choosing yourself, prioritizing your peace, and making space for better things to come. Any of us hold on out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of regret, or fear of the unknown. We convince ourselves that if we just try a little harder, give a little more, or wait a little longer, things will improve. But this mindset often keeps us trapped in a cycle of chasing validation, pouring energy into something that isn't reciprocated, and losing ourselves in the process. It's important to understand that no amount of effort can force someone to love you or value you if they're not willing to meet you. Halfway letting go is not about failure. It's about accepting reality and respecting your own boundaries. The letting go starts with honesty. You need to take a step back and assess the situation without the influence of wishful thinking or emotional attachment. Are you holding on to someone who consistently disrespects your boundaries? Are you putting in all the effort while they give little to nothing in return? Are you staying because you genuinely feel valued, or because you're afraid of starting over? These are hard questions to ask yourself, but they're essential for gaining clarity. When you choose to let go, you're choosing to break free from emotional dependence. It's not easy, especially if you've invested significant time and energy into a relationship or situation, but holding on for the sake of familiarity often does more harm than good. It keeps you stuck in a place where you're not growing, not valued and not fulfilled. By letting go, you open the door to new possibilities, ones that align with your self-worth and bring genuine happiness and growth. It's the process of letting go is not about erasing memories or pretending the past didn't happen. It's about acknowledging what was, appreciating the lessons that taught you, and moving forward with a sense of gratitude and closure. Every experience, even the painful ones, contributes to your growth. Letting go allows you to carry the lessons without carrying the pain. It's a way of honoring your journey while freeing yourself from the weight of what no longer belongs in your life. Sometimes letting go means redefining your boundaries and standing firm in them. It means saying no to relationships or dynamics that drain your energy and saying yes to the things reclaiming your identity, post-breakup, that uplift and inspire you. It's about choosing quality over quantity, depth over surface, and authenticity over convenience. When you let go of the wrong people, you make room for the right ones, those who will meet you with the love, respect, and effort you deserve. It's also important to remember that letting go is a process, not a one-time decision. There will be moments of doubt, pain, and longing. You might feel the urge to reach out or go back to what's familiar. But in those moments, remind yourself why you chose to let go in the first place. Remind yourself of the peace, freedom, and self-respect that come from releasing what isn't meant for you. Over time, the pain of letting go will fade, and you'll find yourself stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self. Letting go is an act of self-love. It's a declaration that you deserve better than half-hearted effort, broken promises, or unreciprocated energy. It's a commitment to yourself, a promise to prioritize your happiness and well-being above all else. And when you let go, you don't just free yourself. You set a powerful example for others, showing them the strength and dignity that come from knowing your worth. Focusing on your journey rather than obsessing over someone else's actions or decisions is a transformative mindset. When relationships become strained or one-sided, it's easy to get consumed by questions. Why aren't they calling? What did I do wrong? How can I fix this? These thoughts can spiral into an unhealthy fixation, keeping you trapped in a cycle of overthinking and self-doubt. But the truth is, your energy is far too valuable to be wasted on trying to control or interpret someone else's behavior. Instead, redirecting that energy toward your own growth. Happiness and goals is not only liberating, it's empowering. Your journey is unique and it deserves your full attention. Every time you pour your energy into worrying about someone else's choices, you're taking away from the time and effort you could be investing in yourself. Imagine all the opportunities for growth, learning, and joy that you might miss while you're caught up in thoughts about what someone else is doing or feeling. By shifting your focus inward, you take control of your narrative and create space for meaningful progress in your life. Focusing on your journey doesn't mean you stop caring about others or become indifferent to relationships. It simply means prioritizing your well-being and recognizing that you cannot force someone else to see your worth, stay in your life, or meet your expectations. What you can control is how you show up for yourself, how you respond to challenges, and how you choose to move forward. When you make yourself the center of your life, you gain clarity, confidence, and resilience. One of the most powerful aspects of focusing on your journey is the growth it brings. Whether it's pursuing a passion, advancing in your career, building healthier habits, or deepening your self-awareness, every step you take towards self-improvement adds to your sense of fulfillment and self-worth. These achievements are yours to keep, and they remain with you regardless of who comes and goes in your life. They're a testament to your strength, determination, and individuality. Moreover, when you focus on your own journey, you naturally attract people who align with your values, and energy, confidence, and self-assurance are magnetic. And when you're genuinely invested in your growth and happiness, others are drawn to that authenticity. Instead of chasing people or trying to prove your worth, you become the kind of closing thoughts, moving forward with grace, person who inspires and uplifts others simply by being yourself. Focusing on your journey also helps you build emotional independence. You stop relying on external validation to feel worthy, and instead find fulfillment in your achievements, passions, and self-discovery. This independence doesn't mean you don't value relationships. It means you approach them from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You no longer look to others to fill a void or define your identity, and this shift creates healthier, more balanced connections. It's important to remember that focusing on your journey is not about running away from emotions or avoiding difficult conversations. It's about recognizing when you've done all you can and choosing to channel your energy into what you can control. If you've communicated your feelings, honestly shown your effort, and maintained your boundaries, then the rest is not up to you at that point. The healthiest thing you can do is step back and focus on your path forward. This mindset also allows you to build resilience in the face of rejection or loss. When someone chooses to walk away or doesn't reciprocate your feelings, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own journey. By staying focused on your path, you remind yourself that their decision doesn't define you. You are still capable, valuable, and deserving of happiness, and the best way to honor that is by continuing to move forward. Ultimately, focusing on your journey is a declaration of self-respect. It's a commitment to yourself, a promise to value your time, energy, and potential. It's about trusting that the right people and opportunities will come into your life at the right time, and until then, you're fully capable of creating a life you love. By investing in yourself and staying true to your path, you not only grow as an individual, you also create a life that reflects your worth and aligns with your deepest values.